Justice Sanjiv Khanna takes over as the 51st Chief Justice of India on November 11th for a brief tenure of 6 months until May 2025. The incumbent CJI, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, is slated to demit office on November 10th after serving nearly 2 years in office. Justice Sanjiv Khanna hails from an illustrious family. A third-generation lawyer, his father, Justice D.R. Khanna, served as a judge of the Delhi High Court. However, the most towering personality in his family is perhaps his uncle, Justice H.R. Khanna, revered for his lone dissent in the landmark 1976 case of ADN Jabalpur versus Shivkan Shukla, delivered during the emergency. While his 4 colleagues on the bench upheld the Indira Gandhi government's emergency proclamation, which suspended all fundamental rights, including the right to life and personal liberty under Article 21 of the Constitution, Justice H.R. Khanna had stood firm in defending citizens' rights to challenge preventive detention without due process. However, this act of valor was not without consequence. Justice Khanna was ultimately denied the post of the Chief Justice of India when the Congress government under Indira Gandhi chose to appoint Justice M.H. Beg instead in 1977, thereby superseding him. Now turning to the early career of Justice Sanjiv Khanna, he graduated from St. Stephen's College in Delhi in the year 1918, after which he got admitted to the Campus Law Center of Delhi University. 3 years later, in 1983, he was admitted to the Delhi Bar Council as a lawyer. Opting for a rather humble start to his legal career, Justice Khanna began his practice at the Tis Hazari District Court before progressing to the Delhi High Court. His practice at the High Court included a notable 7-year tenure as Senior Standing Counsel for the Income Tax Department and later as a Standing Counsel for the National Capital Territory of Delhi. Finally, in 2005, he was elevated as an additional judge of the Delhi High Court and subsequently made a permanent judge in 2006. Justice Khanna's elevation to the Supreme Court in January 2019 was, however, not without controversy. At the time of his appointment, he was ranked 33 in the All India seniority list of High Court judges. This meant that he not only superseded many senior judges in the country, but also 3 of his senior colleagues at his parent High Court, namely Justices Pradeep Nandrajog, Geeta Mittal and S. Ravinder Bhatt. Justice Bhatt, of course, later went on to become a Supreme Court judge in September 2019. The Supreme Court Collegium, then headed by CJI Ranjan Gogoi, faced severe criticism from both former and sitting judges over this supersession. The criticism primarily stemmed from the Collegium's decision to not give effect to a resolution recommending the elevation of then Chief Justice of the Rajasthan High Court Pradeep Nandrajog and Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court Rajendra Menon, who had been previously approved in the December 2018 resolution prior to the retirement of Justice Madan Lokur. After Justice Lokur's retirement, the Collegium, which now also included Justice Arun Mishra, publicly announced a resolution to elevate Justices Dinesh Maheshwari and Sanjiv Khanna instead. The Gogoi Collegium attributed this change of heart to a fresh look at additional materials, concluding that Justices Maheshwari and Khanna were far more deserving and suitable in all respects compared to other Chief Justices and senior judges of the High Courts. In his 5 years as a Supreme Court judge, Justice Khanna has been a part of several significant rulings. He was part of a bench headed by then CJI Ranjan Gogoi that convened on a Saturday, that is on April 20th, 2019, to hear allegations of sexual harassment made by a former Supreme Court staffer against the Chief Justice. Although Justice Gogoi did preside over the proceedings, a subsequent order uploaded only carried the names of Justices Sanjiv Khanna and Arun Mishra. The order had also cautioned the media from reporting on, and I quote here, wild and scandalous allegations against the Chief Justice. A bench headed by Justice Sanjiv Khanna had also refused to intervene in a case against the elevation of Madras High Court Judge Justice Victoria Gauri for her prior ties to the BJP and alleged instances of hate speech against minorities. Ahead of the Lok Sabha polls this year, Justice Khanna headed a bench which granted interim bail to former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the Delhi excise policy case, holding that his rights to life and liberty were sacrosanct. The CJI designate has also sat on several constitution benches. In his first year in the Supreme Court, he penned a crucial judgment bringing the office of the CJI within the ambit of the Right to Information Act. He also authored a concurring opinion in the Supreme Court's decision to uphold the abrogation of Article 370, which granted special status to the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir. Similarly, he endorsed the top court's decision to declare the union government's electoral bond scheme unconstitutional. Justice Khanna will also be inheriting a docket of critical cases, including the challenge to the constitutional validity of the marital rape exception. He is also expected to constitute benches to hear important cases like the validity of the Bihar caste census, the criminalization of triple talaq, the validity of the restitution of conjugal rights under the Hindu Marriage Act, and the review of the court's Sabrimala decision. The collegium headed by Justice Khanna will also be tasked with nominating 4 new Supreme Court judges owing to the retirements of Justices Hema Kohli and Chandrachud. In January next year, the top court will see 2 other retirements, that is of Justices Rishikesh Roy and C.T. Ravikumar. Amid a recent surge in arrests and detention of opposition leaders, activists and journalists under draconian laws such as the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, that is the UAPA, and the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, all eyes will also be on Justice Khanna to see how he navigates cases involving the deprivation of personal liberty. Thank you for watching. For more such videos, please subscribe to The Hindu.